Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. And I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And right now you are looking at all of my fragrance oils that I have all over here. And this is my bookcase where I keep all of my fragrance oils that I'm currently working with at the moment. I do have a separate area over here, but some of these are all seasonal over here that I'm not working with, or they're the larger jugs. So let me show you real fast. I do have the larger 5-pound jugs of the fragrance oils that I'll use as well, depending on how popular the scent is and how often I use it. So I have all of those off to the side, but I thought it would be really interesting just to show you how I go about the auditing process when I go through my fragrance oils and how I determine how much is actually left over in the bottle. So the first thing that I did was I went onto Inventora and I printed out my stock levels for my fragrance oil. This video is not sponsored by them, but I have been using them for the past couple years. They have sponsored a couple videos of mine, but this one is not sponsored. I just thought it'd be interesting just to share with you how I go about this process. So with this, I'm basically just going to go down the list and pull out different oils, and I do kind of have an organization when it comes to these baskets, because I have done this basket right here to the front left. These are kind of my more masculine and beachy scents. That basket right there is my sweet scents. That one right there is more of like floral or more floral-esque kind of scents. And then that basket right over there to the right-hand side is all of my fruity scents. So I may have to switch this around, but I'm not going to be sharing or showing you me doing all of these because I just feel like that video would be so long, but I'm just going to show you the two different ways that I have gone about figuring out how much fragrance oil I have left over inside of the bottle, if it looks like it's like halfway or more than halfway. So I'll just kind of share with you how I go about doing that. So the first way that I would go about finding out how much fragrance oil was left in the bottle was actually just by eyeballing it. So I'll give you an example of that. I'm really hoping that you'll be able to see the oil inside. I'm wondering, you can kind of see a little bit that's left in there. I'm wondering if maybe I turn this up, if you'll be able to see a little bit more. So you can kind of see how much oil is left over. You can see that it's definitely less than half. So this is kind of how I would go about doing it. I would look and I'd say, okay, so for this oil, when it comes in, it's pretty much right here when it's full. So it's definitely less than half. And I would say it's even 2 ounces less than that. So this is a 16-ounce bottle. So what I would do is I would divide that by the 16 by 2, which would give us 8 ounces. And then I would take away 2 more ounces. So I would say that there's about 6 ounces of oil left in here. Now, of course, that is just an estimation of the oil in here, and it's really just depending on how exact and precise you want to be when you are doing your audits. So again, this is how I used to do it, and what I then realized was that I can actually just weigh it out to find out, just like with the candle. You just have to figure out what the net weight of the ounces are in here. So I'm going to bring this over. This is the only little table that I have. It's a step stool so that I'm actually able to get up and fill up my digiboil pots, because otherwise I would not be able to reach it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be taking an empty bottle. So this is completely empty. There's nothing in it. And I'm going to weigh this bottle with the lid and everything. And then I'm going to tear it, take it away. And then now anything I put on here is going to be the net weight content. So let's see how close. Okay, so 6.57 ounces. So I wasn't too far off with the 6 ounces. And I guess it's always better to say that there's less in there than what there actually is. And then now the next thing I'm going to do is I just pulled out 2 more bottles of Beechwood. So these ones right here also need to be weighed out, and then I can add them together and then figure out exactly how much oil I currently have. So on my calculator, I'm just going to get this added on there. So 6.5 ounces. This one right here is 4.57. 4.57 plus This one I think is completely full. So this one is 16.11. So 16.11. So I currently have 27.25 ounces of beechwood in stock at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here to my little audit sheet and I'm going to find beechwood. So beechwood is just that second one right there. And this is how much it shows inside of Inventora on what I actually have in stock. But I really have 27.25, and that could just be me not indicating that I made some candles or wax melts, and it shows that I actually have less than what's expected. So that's why it's really good to do audit levels, because if you're thinking that you have that much but you really don't, that's really important to know. So this is kind of my quick process of sharing with you how I go about measuring and figuring out how much oil I have left over in the bottles. And I'll do the same thing with any bottles that are kind of different sizes. So as you can see, there's different kind of bottles over there. So any bottles that are empty, that's what I'll use to kind of get an idea of how much that bottle weighs. They are meant to hold 16 ounces. It just, they can be made of different materials or be shaped a little bit differently. So you don't know if they're going to, the actual bottle itself is going to weigh differently. So what I really need to do is just write down a list just so I have the weight of all of these bottles and get that set, so then I can just subtract that when I'm going through the process of figuring out how much oil is left in each of the bottles. And then from here, all I'm going to do is just go through and do the same thing with all of the other scents. So it's going to be kind of like a rinse and repeat process. So it's going to be the exact same way that I just did it for that beechwood scent. And then I'm going to record it on my sheet and then input it into Inventora so that everything is updated. But with that, I think I'm going to end today's video right here. I really hope you enjoyed today's more shorter, straight to the point kind of video on how I determine how much fragrance oil I have left over so that I can audit everything, keep everything on track, and not getting kind of all crazy with my inventory, which obviously, you know, I didn't keep track of that one going on, but that's why I like to do inventory, so that I can keep everything on track as best as I can. If you're needing an inventory software, highly recommend Inventora. Go check them out. I've been using them for years. And also, if you are somebody who is getting started with your candle making business, if you are going to be launching your candle business in the next couple of months and you kind of want a little bit of a guide, I will have in the pinned comment below a link to where you can download my free candle business launch checklist, and you'll also be entered into my weekly newsletter. So I am going to be giving you really, really helpful advice, business tips, and just kind of things that I'm talking about, and also news on my new website that is coming up very, very soon. So really excited about that. But I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Memory Box Candle Co. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.